Hello, and welcome to Psychology Hub. In today's video, we'll be diving into the fascinating and sometimes unsettling subject of dark psychology manipulation. This form of manipulation involves using advanced psychological tactics to influence, control, and often deceive others for personal advantage. Whether you realize it or not, manipulation is a part of human interaction. But when it's done through dark psychology, it takes on a more manipulative, harmful, and sometimes even dangerous form. In this video, we'll explore several key points. 1. What is dark psychology manipulation, and why is it important to understand it? 2. What are the advantages and disadvantages of knowing about and using dark manipulation techniques? 3. What are some of the different types of manipulation methods employed by dark manipulators? 4. How does dark psychology connect to human psychology and behavior? 5. How can we protect ourselves from being manipulated by these tactics? By the end of this video, you'll have a clearer understanding of how dark psychology manipulation works, how to recognize and avoid its traps, and how to use this knowledge in an ethical, responsible way. Dark psychology manipulation refers to the use of psychological techniques to control, influence, or deceive others for personal gain. It's a powerful form of social influence that seeks to change someone's behavior or perception through coercion, deception, and sometimes abuse. The goal of dark manipulators is often to manipulate people into doing something they wouldn't otherwise do, either for the manipulator's personal benefit or to exert power over them. So why is it so crucial to understand this concept? Well, dark psychology manipulation can be subtle and hard to detect. People often don't realize they're being manipulated until it's too late. Understanding how these techniques work helps us recognize red flags and avoid falling prey to them. It also protects us from emotional and psychological harm, which can range from loss of self-esteem, confusion, mental fatigue, to even physical harm in extreme cases. Having a deep understanding of dark psychology manipulation allows us to recognize toxic behaviors in both personal and professional settings. It gives us the ability to avoid falling victim to emotional blackmail, narcissistic abuse, or even manipulative tactics used by charismatic figures such as cult leaders or deceptive politicians. Advantages and disadvantages of dark psychology manipulation. Now, let's discuss the pros and cons of understanding dark psychology manipulation. There are both positive and negative aspects to this knowledge, and it's important to recognize both. Advantages 1. Improved persuasion skills. By studying dark psychology manipulation, you can learn effective persuasion techniques. Understanding psychological principles can help you motivate others in positive ways. For example, you might use these techniques to help someone overcome their fears, resolve conflicts, or encourage them to pursue their goals. In professional settings, these skills can help you lead, inspire, and communicate more effectively. You can empower people without exploiting them. 2. Conflict resolution. You can use manipulation tactics ethically to resolve conflicts. If you understand the psychology behind how people think and feel, you can guide them toward finding solutions without creating unnecessary tension or resistance. For example, using empathy and emotional intelligence can help you navigate tricky negotiations or interpersonal disagreements in a productive way. Disadvantages 1. Manipulation for harm. On the darker side, these techniques can also be used to exploit and harm others. When people understand how to manipulate others psychologically, they can abuse those techniques to control or deceive them. The result can be emotional abuse, exploitation, or worse. A prime example of this is how a narcissistic partner might emotionally manipulate their significant other into feeling guilty or dependent on them, making it difficult for the victim to break free from the relationship. 2. Toxic power dynamics. When dark psychology is misused, it leads to toxic power dynamics. This could range from a cult leader using manipulation to control followers, to an abusive manager using tactics to intimidate or coerce employees into compliance. those who use dark psychology tactics often develop a sense of superiority or entitlement, which can lead to even more exploitative behaviors. Ultimately, the key is to use this knowledge ethically to influence others for the greater good and not for selfish or harmful purposes. Common manipulation techniques used by dark manipulators. Now let's look at some of the most common manipulation tactics that dark manipulators use. Understanding these techniques will make it easier to spot and avoid manipulation in your own life. 1. Gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of psychological abuse where the manipulator causes the victim to doubt their own perceptions, memories, or reality. The manipulator may deny things that happened, contradict facts, or present false information. Over time, the victim may begin to feel confused, insecure, and even question their sanity. For example, a partner may tell you, "That never happened," or "You're imagining things," making you feel like you're losing your grip on reality. 2. Emotional manipulation. This tactic exploits the victim's emotions to achieve a certain goal. Manipulators use guilt, fear, or sympathy to get what they want. For example, a manipulator may use guilt to make you feel bad for not doing what they want, or may use fear to intimidate you into compliance. Often, emotional manipulators try to make the victim feel responsible for their emotions and try to create a sense of obligation to meet their demands. 3. Psychological manipulation. In psychological manipulation, the manipulator uses cognitive biases, mental shortcuts, or logical fallacies to influence how you think and make decisions. They exploit your weaknesses and insecurities to make you feel inferior or dependent on them. This could involve playing on your fears, exploiting your desires, or even using flattery to trick you into doing something you wouldn't ordinarily do. 4. Social manipulation. Social manipulation takes advantage of peer pressure, group dynamics, and societal norms to influence behavior. For instance, manipulators might use social expectations to convince someone to act in a way that benefits the manipulator. They might isolate the victim from their support system to make them feel alone or vulnerable, thereby increasing their dependency on the manipulator. These are just a few of the many techniques that dark manipulators use to control others. By recognizing these tactics, you can protect yourself from being influenced by them. The psychological foundations of dark psychology. Manipulation. Dark psychology manipulation is deeply tied to human psychology and behavior. It's rooted in our innate emotions, cognitive processes, and social dynamics. Let's explore some of the ways dark manipulators exploit human nature. 1. Cognitive biases. Manipulators often exploit cognitive biases, inherent flaws in the way humans process information. For example, the confirmation bias, where we seek out information that supports our existing beliefs, can be manipulated to reinforce false narratives. 2. Emotions and desires. Emotional triggers like fear, guilt, or sympathy are often used to manipulate decisions. Manipulators tap into your most basic emotions to guide your actions. 3. Social influences. Social psychology plays a big role. Manipulators exploit group conformity, peer pressure, or social isolation to influence behavior. The need to belong or to avoid rejection can be incredibly powerful, and manipulators know this. These tactics work because they exploit the way human beings naturally think, feel, and behave. Understanding how these psychological mechanisms function can help you avoid being manipulated. Conclusion: empowering yourself against dark psychology manipulation. In conclusion, dark psychology manipulation is a powerful tool that can have devastating effects if misused. By understanding the psychological principles behind these tactics, you can better defend yourself from falling victim to manipulation and also use this knowledge to protect others. It's crucial that we use our understanding of dark psychology responsibly. This knowledge should be used to protect and empower ourselves and others, not to exploit or harm people for personal gain. Thank you for watching today's video here at Psychology Hub. If you found it insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave us a comment below and let us know what you think about dark psychology manipulation. See you in the next video. This version integrates Psychology Hub at both the beginning and end to make the video more aligned with your channel branding. Let me know if you'd like any further adjustments.